your doors.
Also probably for me,
As long as that light's not shooting, so you have to worry about it. If that light's not flashing all the time, call me.
Cell phone.
cell phone and then,
Cell phone insurance.
you're looking in there too? You're looking in here also?
I
Then you
was.
can also show me, that will be quicker so we don't.
Testing, 1, 2. Carol, say something into that testing.
Testing 1, 2, testing 1, 2.
She's a little different this year.
Cell phone.
Really, the only thing I know about audio is it's always a loose wire, right?
Yeah, the DLE sheets are a little different. It's the same thing, I mean, just got cut off
Okay.
compared to the other one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, well, we can input.
Cardell. 64486.
That's what it's been doing, Tyler, since it fell over.
Oh, it fell over?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's right behind you.
The salt, Cardell.
didn't even know.
What's the plate FM?
That's what it was. I was like, this frequency's not right. It was an 89.4.
Must be the, main.
Are those mics available to test right now?
They're in the office there.
Where,
Yeah,
is she in there?
Yeah, Andy's there.
Calls, sometimes. Other one, Steve Hardo.
Steve. Steven.
Hi, Steve.
You been out there fishing?
No, I have not.
Somebody's out there.
That's my son.
They must be getting them, because they go out there when it's cold.
He's got a few. Nothing great.
Hello, hello. Is that working, Don?
How you doing?
Cool.
Yeah.
How's this look?
You're fine.
Yeah, the mode got shifted on that.
Oh. Well, he got knocked over 2 weeks
This is
ago
a
or so.
$64.
Hey, David, just a reminder, as I was coming over the bridge, you know they're doing that culvert.
Yep.
You guys got to push back to spring.
Yep.
So you know you got that in June. And I remember saying to you guys, this bridge right here, going over the Mohawk,
They're supposed to do something to that?
$950,000.
No, I
That's a lot of something.
New car price there.
Yep.
Pardon me?
That's a lot of something.
Yeah, but they, you know, you see them.
John helped
Put the new
tonight.
guardrails up.
Hi, John.
That,
Mike
I don't
Johnson.
know, as I think about it, I think to do half of that at a time, you know, put the light up just like they did over here in 46. That would
That
save
bridge is not that old, I don't know unless they're gonna retop it.
$950,000, let's hope they do more than tar. It does.
Not top it, I meant re-change the concrete on top.
Yeah, so, well, you know they gotta jackhammer all that out.
Grind it,
All
yeah.
new lead rods and the whole thing, so.
gonna be a heck of
Then just something for,
Propane.
and we should send them to Western as well, of what is closing down.
Together.
And, you know, because the whole thing is, you know, the fire department.
Yeah, it's right there, best now.
Well, it won't bother you. It will not,
Yeah, you're Tracy.
not as much in the spring. If you do it, yeah. Yeah, that's good.
No, there isn't.
Before you,
If you,
I'll take the hill.
I hope that's not for me.
Nope, it's. We got it.
Yeah.
You'd have to go to.
We're actually doing, sorry, no, we got the.
What is that? The golf club.
And your name and Jody's name are on
You
it.
have come in, you done enough for yourself?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What they get called.
No bags today.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
No bags. Nothing to leave behind.
You go down to Task Force or wherever the.
Right, the lights there, like even Peter Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah. 26, 46 and 26, between, you know, the farm and the area.
It's the last one, I believe.
So. It's a busy road. And then you can also tell from experience. So you can get all clear in the edge of the driveway. It is what it is. That's what I always say. Nobody tells you where to go.
Does yours need touching up?
What's that?
The little legs?
Oh, yeah, probably.
It's gotta go between you and Dwayne.
Yeah.
Come back and turn this on. Okay, I might need to turn this on.
Okay.
Hey, Don.
Hiya.
You always look good, Don.
I don't know. It's Carol. She forces me against my will. I would come in packed with straw. A straw man.
You know something? Don, I wouldn't have you close. You know, that's for my wife.
Yeah.
With her love affair with Amazon.
Oh yeah. Isn't that something?
You know, I use Amazon.
Testing 1, 2. Okay, so look, we're going to get started here in about 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes of 7 tonight. We have the folks here ready to go to town tonight for this first town board meeting of the year 2026. We've got some things that we wanted to cover real quick here. A couple of those things based on excuse me. A couple of things. Of course, with Miss Rowland, the clerk, Melissa Rowland here, we're still waiting on a FOIL from her almost 2 months ago for the recorded meeting like this gentleman is doing right here of that town board meeting almost 2 months ago. And that FOIL typically is required to be answered within 10 days, and the information generally available to the public requesting the public information, public records in the town of Western, available 20 days after that. Now, in some cases, they may take longer if it's a very difficult FOIL to provide. If the record is difficult to find, to locate, and or to remove or redact sections of that video, would they need to do that? But of course, in a public meeting, you wouldn't want to really redact anything if you were a town, would you? So we're still waiting on that FOIL to be answered. Basically, it's what's called a constructive denial for a FOIL in any town in the state of New York if that FOIL doesn't have a date specific on it with respect to the time frame that they're going to return that information, those public records, to the public within a specific time frame. That's called a constructive denial for FOIL, and that basically allows you to file an appeal with, in this case, the town supervisor, Anna Riddell Weaver, who is the public appeals manager for FOIL. However, in the town of Western, what happens is that when you file an appeal with that woman there, the town supervisor, she just doesn't answer you. So that's why it's very difficult in a town like Western that's crooked, that doesn't want to serve the public. That's what happens in this kind of a town. They just simply don't answer FOILs because they don't have to follow the law, but they expect the people in the community to follow the laws that they create. It's a really, really obscene process in the town of Western with respect to the way these folks manage you and the people in the town of Western like little tools, like little subservient people. That's what they're doing to you right here tonight, in fact, because they haven't provided you with all of the documents that they're going to be discussing in this meeting tonight. That's a crying shame. Crying shame. New York State law, 24 hours in advance of any meeting where items are discussed in public, deliberated by the board, are to be made available to the public so that they can follow along in those deliberations in those meetings. Of course, these folks could care less about you or about those records that they're supposed to provide to the public in advance of meetings just like this. As well, you know, we're going to get started in about 6 minutes. As well, we didn't receive any responses on Facebook to the poll that we put out. That poll basically saying and asking the question, what do you, public of Western, believe is going to be the person that stands up most to negate your rights in the town of Western on this board here? Is it going to be Ian Riddell? Is it going to be Peter Donahue? Is it going to be Dave Schallenberg? Is it going to be Dwayne Wheeler? Or will it still be, I don't know, anybody? How about, is it going to be the town supervisor, Anna Riddell Weaver? So we really don't know. Nobody really wanted to answer. And we believe it's because of the retaliation, the retribution, and the way this board manhandles the public, calls the police on the public, physically assaults the public, in meetings or not. It just doesn't matter whether you're recorded or not. Now, the town could fire a lawsuit off, say that we're lying to the public, but they won't do that because we have it recorded on video. As you know, if you're watching the channel, we've recorded all of that for years, almost 3 years. March 3rd. So 3 years of the continual harassment of the people day in and day out in this town of Western, simply because this board would rather fight than switch to letting the people know how the town functions, how it operates, and to allow the people of the town of Western to participate in the process of local government, which the local taxpayers in Western are allowed to assist with, are allowed to know, are allowed to understand, but yet this town board just doesn't want that to happen. Now, it's been done for 150 years that way, I guess. I haven't been around that long, but that's all I can assume is that it's been that long, and that's why it's so hard to fight. So hard to fight such a deep-rooted issue like that in the town of Western. Now, there was a post we put up today of another town just outside of Rochester who's having almost the exact same issues, failing to fulfill FOILs for people, keeping information from the taxpayers, public financial records belonging to the public who pay the taxes, and they're not supplying it to their people either. So does that make it right in New York State? Hardly. It makes it very much wrong in New York State to withhold public information from public taxpayers. It's 6:57. They're going to get started here in just a couple of minutes, so we're going to let you go.
There's, well, that's for the armrest.
Why is he comfortable now?
Oh, yeah.
He was here.
From when?
I said right
I wish I was
Come down, I waited to get a picture because on Facebook they had a picture of Hazel and I waited.
New Jersey doesn't.
Then he came back down.
He didn't want to be he wants to.
Yeah, what, you're all.
My great nephew fell in love with the
Aw,
He'll be 6
That's fair.
at the end of the week.
very nice girl, huh? Everybody loved her.
His wife?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Missy works with her at Delta Lake Inn, but she works for the FDA.
this modern
for
stuff.
Marcy. She's a good Yeah. Farm stuff.
Going fast.
When you actually want to do the work, that's the issue.
Not yet.
That's what it is.
Like a phone.
Speaker for voice. Right there in this house, it goes away.
Cell phone this year.
I didn't hear it.
Can you check the plugs on that mic for him? They have to be seated firmly.
Hi, Tyler.
Maybe unplug and replug that connection in.
Which these in, Tyler?
Do they all do it or is it just
It could be just those.
We'll just leave it on.
I don't hear it there.
I don't hear mine.
He got it.
Thanks.
No, there it is. It's back again.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't blame you about it.
It's this one. It's this one. The battery going bad on it.
Oh, maybe.
It could be battery. The battery getting low.
They don't really have anything good to say ever anyway, so.
Easy over there.
I heard you got your new truck.
Mhm.
How is it?
I haven't driven it. Looks pretty.
Yeah.
Pete, can you see the minute? I'll just swap it out. Or Tyler's standing there.
Oh.
You get new stuff, but then you gotta do a couple of years of work on it to get to where you are. That's
Oh, yeah.
Just FYI for you folks up here, there are 8 people watching online tonight.
Do they live in the village? Guess that's not important.
Oops. Everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you everyone for coming. Before we start tonight's meeting, I owe Mark Hale an apology. After last month's meeting, I knew the minute I started talking that I was wrong and I didn't stop saying. So the next day I did call Mark, we talked over the whole thing, and I did tell him that I would apologize publicly at tonight's meeting when the people who were there in December were here. So I do apologize. I hope it don't happen again, but I can't say it won't. And now we'll continue on. So we'll start with approval of the previous board meeting. Any corrections, questions?
I didn't have any.
Okay. We did have a couple of changes.
Yeah.
Dave pointed out the DOT, or it's the DOT, not the DMV. Okay. A motion to approve
I make a motion we approve the minutes for the last meeting.
and a second.
I'll second it then.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Approval of bills is submitted by town clerk.
All right, highway fund was $42,484.85. The general fund was $153,380.73, for a total of $195,865.58.
Okay, any questions on the bills? Okay, motion to approve? To approve, and a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Supervisor's report. General fund townwide, $2,320,021.52. Highway fund, $1,083,000.
$1,083,363. Reserve, $145,685.33. Reserve machinery, $220,000. Fire Protection District, $714.25. Street lighting, $5,768.50. For a total of $3,775,552.60. Any questions? Motion to accept?
I'll make the motion that we accept the report.
Okay, a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Preston?
Thank you. Okay, well, I want to start out by saying, don't shovel, plow, or blow your snow into or across the road. That's for the 8 people online and the ones in the room. We're having wicked problems with it. We've talked to some. Everyone's doing it. Some are accommodating us and finding other ways. Some tell me where I can go. We've been plowing, sanding. We've had snow. I know everybody likes the warm weather, but that comes with rain and freezing rain. We'd rather have snow. The ditches and culverts are all full, plugged. We've been out trying to open them up when we have time, get the water flowing, but that only works once in a while. We've been shuffling with the old 1974 Oshkosh that pushes the banks back, gives us a spot to put the snow, allows people to see a little better at the intersection. We've had 2 loaders out, opening the intersections up, turn around, stuff like that. We have had a little break, which is nice because we've been able to get rid of some of the issues. We've been a lot of repairs. When you're running stuff hard, it breaks. Tires, lights, hydraulic hoses. Broke a couple plow cables. Those are middle of the night repairs usually. We put a new def bump on, PTO. Drive shafts, brake lines, the truck that I was driving when it went. Even like the building, our overhead door opener decided that it didn't want to work anymore, and we searched high and low for the part needed, but there isn't one in the country, it doesn't seem, so we had to manually open it. Oh my goodness. Yes. But it's up and going now. We're having delivery issues again. Diesel and propane. I don't know, probably everybody in this room who has, whether it's fuel oil or carries propane, it's just not coming. And
It isn't.
The day it's delivered, I start calling for the next delivery. They brought us 5,000 diesel the other day, and they act like we're asking them for 5 gallons. You know, they don't care, and it doesn't. There's only so many people doing it, and you're just stuck. We had 700 gallons left the other day. That's one day's worth of plowing. So that's pretty. That's stressful. That FEMA box culvert on Tannery Road. We submitted a scope of work change, and when we started asking why we hadn't heard back yet, they told us we didn't submit it. So we went back in the emails and had to resend it, which we did. They'd replied to us like, I don't know, something happened on their end, so quite a setback on that. We don't know where it is right now. They're all pointing fingers at each other, but hopefully they resolve it here quick. The only thing, I mean, this might not be where to talk about it, but we have multiple sets of tires down there that we'd like to part with, like set at Auctions International or something.
Okay.
They're taking up space that we don't have, and like you said, we'll just have to approve that. And some are truck tires, some are or pickup truck tires, some are big truck tires. The new, like Catherine said, the new truck did arrive last week. We've driven it, haven't used it, and the building's coming along very nicely. They should be weather cooperating, done in a week or so. With
Yeah,
a shell, no floor.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good back there.
Yep.
So Preston, you asking for the board for a resolution to allow you to auction off,
Yes.
the unneeded?
Set tires, right.
The old
we have
tires.
no use for them. Yep.
Yeah, we just usually make a motion
Yep.
for them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Scrap.
Yeah.
Well, they're scrapped to us, not somebody else.
Right.
Generally, when you do get the offers from Auction International, they gotta get approved by the board too. Or that's how other boards have done it, but if you don't do it that way, that's okay.
Well, we haven't in the past just because that's high bid.
Yeah, it's high bid,
That's
it's
the point
surplus
of doing it,
equipment,
but-
so,
Right.
yeah.
I mean,
So the board can move to.
it's that or we can take them to the dump,
Yeah.
but they're, like I said, they're usable tires to somebody.
Yeah.
And at the dump, we'd have to pay.
We'd have to
for
pay
it.
to get rid of them.
Yeah, so get some money, so.
We tried to, cause they will take the big truck tires and recap them. But the tires that we have hold the stones, and they don't wanna pay somebody to, that's why we got rid of them, cause the stones stick in and then it's like there's no tread, you're driving on stones.
Yeah.
And they won't pay somebody to pop the little stones out to recap them.
So board,
And I tried getting the guys to do it, but they won't do it.
so I guess someone can make a motion to allow the highway superintendent to list surplus materials past their use for the highway department on Auctions International to sell to the highest bidder.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. A second?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, Preston.
Thank you.
Okay. We didn't have any correspondence, no FOIL request. Tug Hill?
Hi, yeah,
Hi.
Mike Thompson, I'm standing in for John Heath, Health. There's a few things that probably would be interest to the board. Department of State Winter Webinar Series, they have a webinar coming up, The Essentials for Planning and Zoning Board Staff. That's gonna be on Thursday, January 22nd from 2 to 3:30. If there's any interest in that, we can get you information on and how to log in and sign on for it. The Cornell Local Roads Program has a worker safety webinar coming up on the 27th from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. These are also no charge. New York State Town Clerks Association has a transitioning into the clerk's position on the 15th from 10:30 a.m. It's a no charge webinar. And Tug Hill Commission has a webinar for newly elected town officials on the 28th. It's from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Again, no charge. There's 2 grant programs that are now available. New York State Office of Parks and Municipal Parks and Recreation's grants funding for construction or improvement to improvements to municipality-owned sites and parks. Applications must be submitted by February 9th. I think they're putting up to about $10 million that can be applied for. Grants from the Homeland Security and Emergency Services for the Volunteer Fire Department to upgrade infrastructure or response equipment. It's state funded. The deadline is February 9th by 5 p.m. They have $1 million set aside in the program for upgrading buildings, or up to $500,000 if you were just upgrading the response mechanism. And then the last thing of it is the registration's open for the Tug Hill 35th Local Government Conference. It's on April 20th and 21st at Turning Stone. NOCOG will pay for the first, for one person from each municipality to go for free. If you need that, I've got the information on it right here.
Thank you.
And it's the applications that, if the person that's going for free, if they would just send that to John, he would take care of it. If there's any extras, they can sign up online.
Okay.
That's all we have for this month.
All right, thank you. Christina?
I just wanted to encourage everybody to check the library website. We have a lot going on in 2026. It's pretty exciting. The website's being updated for the library, so it's westerntownlibrary.org. All the events and everything are up there. But what we're doing at this point, we have a lot of monthly programs, so like baby toddler social hour, we have preschool read-alouds. We're experimenting with a couple things, so crafternoons, people can bring in their crafts and work with, bring friends, or they can work with some of the library. We have our own sewing machine, they can use some of the library tools and craft supplies. We're also trying a game night, so anyone who wants to bring their own board game or use one of the library board games, so that's going to be this Thursday, that's from 5 to 8 p.m. We're just trying a bunch of different stuff, February, there's gonna be a dessert contest, so that's a good one. But I just encourage everybody to check out the website, there's a lot there, and we're continuing to fill it out for 2026.
Thank you. Your turn.
Thank you. I have a couple of tidbits, but I just want to ask Christina, do you need any judges for that?
How much are you willing to do?
Just a couple of things, and some of this may be old. By now, you might even have the mortgage tax receipts from April to September, which is a 6-month thing. They do it every 6 months. We're dispersed to the cities and towns and villages. They dispersed 1.883 million, which was shared with the towns and villages, and that's an increase from 2024 from 1.731 million, and that's about 1%. Okay. We just approved the lease with Chobani for Bay 6 at the airport, which is 59,000 square feet through August 31st, at $25,000 a month, which totals $258,000. There is an option to renew on a month-to-month basis with that, and I'm only telling you that because that's revenue, you know, for the county, and I know we had a tax increase, but, you know, speaking of Chobani, I saw Ben Simons at the Stewart's the other day, and according to him, and justifiably so, the farmers are very happy that this Chobani's coming into the area. I also heard the people in that area, which includes my brother, they're not real happy because they live right behind where the golf course used to be, so we'll see what happens there as far as the fencing and, you know, and I'm sure they're going to do it the right way. At $1.2 billion, I'm sure they have it all figured out to try to appease everybody. But, you know, that's that. I just think that, you know, Chobani is a great thing for this area. It's going to bring in a lot of dollars, a lot of jobs, et cetera, et cetera. And the other thing, not one more thing, but I don't know if anybody saw this, but history was made when the board elected the first woman chair to the Board of Legislators, Mary Pratt, you know, which was great. You know, Mary and I got good news. Mary I talked to her today, and she said, Steve, anything you need, just call me. Great. So, let me know what we need, you know. So, anyways, you know, Mary replaced Jerry Farini, and this is is historic. He retired after 45 years as a county legislator and 30 years as the chairman. So, you know, we went to the reorganizational meeting, or the organizational meeting, I should say, and it was something that we haven't done in such a long time, you know, elect a new board chair. So, and you know, Mary's a good person. She's been active with the board for 8 years. She has 42 years of experience in the health industry and human resources. So it was unanimous. So we all thought she was the right person for the job. Also, they appointed a new director of emergency medical services, Fran Manfredo, 23 years with the Utica Fire Department, assistant chief, captain, and lieutenant, along with 20 years in law enforcement with New Hartford PD. I think those are pretty good credentials for somebody that's going to take over that, you know, 44 years of experience in, you know, emergency medical system. And approved Daniel DeLuke as DWI coordinator. Dan served as lieutenant in the New Hartford Fire Department for 5 years and has spent 4 years as a quartermaster and full-time EMT at Central Oneida County Volunteer Ambulance. 2 excellent choices. And the thing with this Dan DeLuke, I told you, 4 years doing this and 5 years doing this. He's only like 27 years old. So, you know, he's padding his resume.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Under old business, I only had one item to update. I didn't get it on the thing, I didn't think about it, but the DOT has set a date of Wednesday, February 11th for their open house here to go over their plans for 2027 to replace the 3 bridges, a culvert and bridges on Route 46 through the town of Western. And just as a reminder, it's a culvert at the intersection of Carmichael Hill, a bridge over on Route 46 over Stringer Brook near Buck Hill, and then the bridge over Lanson Kill. So.
You said that was projected for 27?
Mm-hmm.
We thought it was 26.
We are currently looking at the 2027 construction season for this project.
There you go.
Yeah. But so there's that. If anyone's interested in listening to
One more time.
February 11th,
Thank you.
4 to 6 p.m.
Thank you.
Is there any other old business from anybody? Okay. Under new business, we have to update a couple of things. One is we have to replace Len as one of the contacts for the REMS emergency services that covers the library. So if there's an incident at the library, or it'll send you a message if the power goes out. They'll send you a text or they'll call you if something sends an alert down there. So I need a volunteer to replace Len, please. It's really nothing to it other than they have your name and phone number and you'll get the alert. I get them, Christina gets them, and new librarian Jody gets them.
Sounds like something I'd be interested in.
Okay, thank you. I'll get your phone number and that after
Okay.
the meeting.
Because Ian and I are building and grounds anyways, I mean, it kind of fits in there.
Okay. Then Len was our board member on the ethics committee, so I need to we need to replace him on that board. It's just if there's an ethics complaint or a concern with the board that they meet. It's with 3 other individuals from the community. And we have to have one board member on it. So, any volunteers?
What do you do if somebody has a complaint about another person?
Yeah.
It's only financial, it's
Fin-
mostly
yeah.
financial stuff, so if somebody thinks that there's been impropriety by somebody that works for the town, or is, a town official or something, then they could bring that complaint to the ethics board, and the ethics board could investigate it and render a decision, or an opinion usually to the town board.
So it's basically just you had the committee, but they don't meet unless there's an
Issue.
need for issue.
So if Preston does something wrong, you can
Yeah.
decide how we're gonna
Schedule one for tomorrow.
So you're saying you
I can
agree
do
to
it.
that? Thank you, Dave. And lastly, for the last few years, we've given permission to the Delta Lake Triathlon to come through town. It's usually around like July 12th, so like the second Saturday of the month. They, because we agreed to allow them to come through the village and around by the lake, they go swing around and back to Lake Delta. They make a $500 donation to the library to do that. So I'm looking to make sure the board is still in favor of it. I have not heard from them yet this year, but they will be usually within the next few days. And this way I can just, if we're all in agreement, I can tell them it's okay.
Yeah, and we've had no problem with
Yeah,
that.
if none.
As long as the library gets their money, I think they,
Yeah.
one
That's the
year.
day I
they
see
start-
you with the fire truck up there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the fire department blocks traffic so they can get through
Yeah,
in the village here.
it takes like half a day. The streets are,
Yeah,
We're
they
a
run
little busy.
46 and then come back through the River Road
yeah.
and then down through.
Okay.
That's a wonderful function. I mean, everybody from around the nation comes here and they love it.
Right.
I talk to people and locals have a great time doing it. I mean, people that aren't even athletes, it's like, man, you're out there swimming, I can't do that anymore, but you do.
So I just need a motion that, we agree.
Yeah, I'll make the motion that we continue with their,
Okay.
I'll second
And a second, okay, all in favor?
that.
Thank you. And that's all the business I had tonight. Is there anything else anyone has to bring up?
Well, being new, I don't know if this is new business, but, you know, when I was campaigning, I talked with a lot of residents, and people are not happy with speed limits. And I talked with, you know, other board members, and they say it's very difficult to get them changed, but, you know, I had a neighbor doctor write a letter to the county. I'm gonna try to push that through if I can, because I don't think Stokes Westernville Road should be 55 miles an hour here and there. It's very confusing. There's the old Workup Farm. You got Kettle Hill, and it's going up and down from 55, and there's deer all over the place. It's like where it's 55 is in front of your place. It's like, what difference does 55 miles an hour make here and there between Stokes Corners and Westernville? What's it take off? 5 seconds off a milk truck coming across? You know? So I'm gonna, you know, if it's okay, I'm gonna write letters, and the same with the town. Ian and I talked with people. They don't want it, some of them want to see speed bumps. I don't want to see speed bumps, but maybe we should have a 30-mile-an-hour limit. The city of Rome has 30 miles an hour on Tannery Road, you know?
Are those town roads or county roads?
It's a county road.
This was a county road, but Main Street is at,
The main street is at 35.
right.
And I made contact with the sheriff's department, who was going to start patrolling. And in the spring, we're gonna set up the, that
camera,
machine
right.
that will, tell you, ask you to slow down.
Right.
It's very difficult to change it, and when it's already at 35, the people I spoke with just didn't think it was, 5 miles wasn't gonna,
Well,
I don't know.
I disagree, because 5 miles an hour, we've got a lot of children in the,
oh no,
town right now, you know.
I understand that
My
part.
kids ran up and down Main Street, you know.
But-
The problem is they're not doing 35. If they're
Right.
doing 35,
It wouldn't be bad.
it would be okay, but I'm here all the time, and they're zinging by at 45,
Right.
50. I mean, sometimes I don't know if they're gonna stop out here, you know, snow-covered roads, and they're
They
just...
don't always stop.
Well, they don't
there.
stop. I mean, I'm waiting to see them go right in the house across the road. It's
I know.
unbelievable. But
So I don't know what it
something
takes.
needs to be done about that. Like, and the sheriffs haven't been around. I know they said
No.
they were gonna, but they have not.
I don't know what it takes, but I can't say there's a resident who wouldn't be in favor of reducing the speed limit on Stokes Westernville Road and Main Street.
We should talk to the county legislator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first step of the process is to petition, get the signatures, that's where
Okay.
you go.
Okay.
Then they have to be sent to the county, and then they send them to the state. Now, I know Bill Baker, you know, from Lee, he was the highway superintendent.
Right, they're working on a
But,
road over there.
you know, they've danced around with the state a million times to lower the speed limit, you know, coming down the Stokes Hill, and it's very difficult, but that's the beginning of the process. You know, this is Stokes Westernville, and I couldn't agree with you more, but that's a county road, and where it's not marked, it's 55. I know that in Floyd, they kind of put their own signs up.
That's the town, those are on, that was, listen,
should I cut the audio on that?
that never happened. On the town road, we filled out the TE9 and sent it to the county, and they did not respond. TE9 is the form we use when we want to change, like a signage on a town road, and they didn't respond.
Yeah, so, but anyways,
Yes.
it's very difficult. to
I heard
do.
it's difficult,
And
but
I'm
it's
gonna
gonna
tell you,
get
you wanna
done.
talk about, and there's nobody that would agree with you more, when you talk about the boats and the trailers that come through, like where I live, you know, over there on the Stokes Westernville Road in the ALK, at the rate of speed that they come through there, you know, it's unbelievable. Once they come around that bend, if they're headed towards 26, you know, it's
Yep.
crazy,
Right.
you know, and, you know, I hate to say, well, I told you so, you know, but one of these days, something's gonna go wrong there. And you see them driving into, Jeannie Anson's old place where the boat launch used to be. You know, that's happened 2-3 times in the last 4 or 5 years, where somebody ends up there because they, you know, they thought that they could negotiate that turn, and they can't, you know, and press.
You got Kettle Hill, you got motorcycles, and I know the motorcycles, they think it's a racetrack.
Yeah, but
you
the
know?
thing is, if they were doing the speed limit, it would happen, so it's not the sign don't mean nothing, if you're gonna do anything,
Yeah.
they gotta patrol it.
Yep, it's the
Yeah, but it
enforcement.
goes up and down the sign. If it was one constant speed limit, then people aren't gonna get confused. I mean, they're going 40 over near my house, and then they all of a sudden get past over near you, and it's 55 again. And then it's down to 40 again. You know, make it 40 the whole way. You know? I bet there's only a mile or two that's 55 on that whole stretch. If that.
But I never noticed.
I
You
did.
should, 'cause you're running a lot.
Preston, what did I
I'm
say
pretty
to you
much
about coming
55
here?
from.
I know. And your trucks aren't speeding.
I didn't notice it went down until you got to
Good
the
morning.
beat.
It's a good point, brother.
Anyway,
You brought it up to me.
you're more than welcome to look into the process
I'm
of
going to,
doing it.
Yep.
It's a lot like Dave said. I know on other places where they've lowered it, until they're patrolling and watching, and we don't have that kind of coverage here. Even though we ask.
But like I said, when I walk this Main Street and I see all these young families, you know, like Tyler, I think it's great. 'Cause that's where my family was 30 years ago, 40 years ago. And I don't want to see people flying through there with the kids on their bicycles or strollers. I see a lot of strollers. It's awesome, you know. Mothers walking their babies. I used to make my kid go on Route 46 and follow me when I was jogging.
Is there any other business for tonight? No? A motion to dismiss? Close.
I'll make a motion that we dismiss.
A second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
You give me a gun and a radar gun.
I know.
I'll get 'em. I know some. I mean, no.
We're making a request on a dirt town road or a county road. I don't
So that's about it for the meeting tonight. There wasn't a lot. See you, Vern. Vern? See you later. Vern stopped in. He's on the, I believe he's on the zoning board. So if I'm wrong, I apologize, Vern, but I think he's on the zoning board. He comes to quite a few of the meetings to keep an eye on kind of what's happening in town, so he knows. And that's a good thing. I think more folks on more boards should be at these meetings to get a feel for what the town board is expecting in the community, because of course the town board is to be representing the people, and at the same time folks on the planning and zoning boards are supposed to be representing the people as well. So for them to be at meetings like this, to see what's happening at these meetings is nothing but positive for everyone involved in that. I just wanted to check the audio, make sure the audio is working. It is, okay. So we had some questions on speed limits on Stokes Westernville Road and Main Street as well. And of course, the common ground thing here is that, you know, it doesn't matter if you make the speed limit 5 miles per hour. Are you going to stop the folks at 2 o'clock in the morning that are hustling down the roads in western simply drinking, tossing their beer cans out the window and having a great time. I don't think they're basically concerned about following any laws in New York State, let alone a 5-mile-per-hour speed limit sign on the very roads that they're tossing their cans out of. So, at 2 o'clock in the morning. So, is that something that you can expect? Can you actually say, let's make Stokes Westernville Road 45 miles per hour? And do you believe that actually those folks traveling that road in those sections where there are no homes, nothing but cattle fields and cornfields, hay fields, that they're going to go 45 miles an hour only if there's a policeman there to stop them? I don't know. That's a great question. But the question that somebody brought up there, Mr. Schallenberg, I believe, does it really matter if you decrease the speed limit? Will those folks follow that speed limit? And the chances are good they probably will not. If they're going faster than 35 on Main Street now, and you make it 20, they're going to go faster than 20 as well. So, let's see. There wasn't a lot happening, although we did get a bit of a feeling that Ian and Dwayne Wheeler are cutting their teeth a bit here with respect to comprehending exactly what their jobs are. That's not a negative slight against those individuals. That's simply them getting comfortable with the process. Now, what concerns us about that whole ordeal, that whole thing is this. There were folks that ran for those two positions that had 2 years of training through New York State Association of Town, the New York State Comptroller's Office, and the Association of Towns, and Tug Hill, who also provides training and has another one coming up here in April at the Turning Stone Casino, which is open to the public. That training by myself, in fact, was probably 4 to 6 different events spread over 20 to 25 days throughout that 2-year period. And of course, the Republican committee in the town of Western thought that it would be better to endorse candidates with none of that training to represent the folks in the town instead of endorsing someone with over 2 years of training in the aspects of serving the community on a town board like this. And that's because in Western, the Republican committee determines what you do, apparently, how you live, apparently, what the laws are, apparently, and how you're managed as a servant of the town of Western Town Board. So with that being said, your vote is very important. And when there's someone out there with education, training, and some experience to step into a position like this, I think rather than just being belligerent as a voter and saying, we can't change, we've got to maintain that. So, in any case, bye-bye. Voting is extremely important in a town like this. And vote for the best person for the job, not simply because the Republican Party may endorse them. Who says the Republican Party is right? Nobody knows, okay? In any case, we're going to get ready to go here because they're closing up. And I thought it was a pretty interesting meeting, but we are starting to see that this town board is kind of like on the edge with what they're going to do next. They really are waiting for something to happen for them to do something. So thanks for joining us tonight. This is January 12th, 2026, town of Western in Oneida County, New York. Remember, we're here for you. Town of Western, civic affairs, your community, your future.
I grew up in 2006, and that was a surprise for me, because we never got snow like that in Jersey.
Yeah. Where in Jersey?
I lived in Hudson.